Good morning or good afternoon. Thank you for joining us today. I am joined by my colleagues who will introduce themselves in just a moment. I'm Melissa Shields. I'm the Assistant State Superintendent working with the Office of Student Learning. And I'm really pleased to come to you today with our friends in Career Tech because this new law and this new opportunity for our students certainly has wonderful implications for both of our sections. I am joined today by Mr. Dodd Hawthorne, who I will let him say hello as well.
Hello, everyone, and certainly want to welcome you to this webinar for Diploma Option B, and certainly hope that you find this to be informative, and we're excited to provide this information to you today.
I'm also joined by Sean Stevens and Don Morrison, who will really lead the discussion today. Don, I'll yield to you.
So much, Dr. Shields. Good morning to each and every one of you, or afternoon. My name is Dawn Morrison. I serve as the section coordinator in the Office of Career Tech and Workforce Development. And again, it is a pleasure to be with you all on today.
And good morning and afternoon, everyone. I'm Sean Stevens. I work in instructional services and glad to be with you guys today so that we can help provide some necessary information and guidance so that you're able to plan for this semester and plan for the for next school year as well.
I would also add that we are joined by Mark McGee and Laura Bailey, who are also here to provide support as we go through these slides. It was really important for us to come together to get you this information as quickly as possible, so you'll have access to the slides, to this running FAQ document. So please know as you're working with your team through these new options that we are here to support you. And after this webinar, we will be following up with more technical assistance. If you do have any questions, and we know if we were sitting in our old seats listening to this webinar, a lot of things would come to the surface for what those implications would be in our school or our district. So please use this QR code, or if you're following on those slides, click that link and be sure to add questions. You might consult. We're going to share an FAQ document with you in just a bit. You might consult it first to see if that question has already been addressed, and if not, please send it to us because it certainly helps us grow through this new opportunity for students. All right, Dawn, all yours.
Okay, thank you again, Dr. Shields. So let us go ahead and take a look at the Alabama Workforce Pathway Act. This particular act, also known as Senate Bill 253 or Act 2024-126, was signed into law by Governor Ivey last spring. And some of the basic tenets contained in the actual legislation for the Workforce Pathways Diploma Option B offer several key benefits for the students in our state. The first one is should be easily recognizable, is that this will provide for a more career-focused education, some flexible graduation requirements, enhanced post-secondary opportunities, scholarship opportunities, and upgraded facilities. Each of these benefits aim to provide our students with diverse pathways to success, whether they choose to enter the workforce directly or pursue further education and training at our 2- and 4-year institutions. The passage of Act 2024-126 obviously necessitated some amendments to the Alabama Administrative Code, specifically paragraph 8, subparagraphs A, B, C, and D. These amendments were filed with the Legislative Services Agency in December of 2024. And for more details, we ask that you refer to the hyperlinks provided on the slide. Next slide, please. On February the 11th, 2025, Memo FY 25-2027 regarding the revised Alabama high school graduation requirements was issued. The Alabama State Board of Education on December the 12th, 2024 amended the Alabama Administrative Code, Rule Number 290-3-1.02. Some of the key revisions included a computer science requirement, which means that students in the graduating class of 2032 pursuing the general education pathway must complete 1 unit of credit in an Alabama State Department of Education approved computer science course or a course that is embedded with computer science skills and experiences. Additionally, option B, pathway, also led itself for revision and inclusion into the Alabama Administrative Code. This again was a new pathway that was established in accordance with the act that I just previously mentioned. Guidelines for the new graduation requirements and other important information are available on the Alabama State Department of Education website and will be updated as needed. The Alabama High School Athletic Association has confirmed that students following option B will remain eligible for athletics with specific language forthcoming. For further questions, we do ask that you contact my colleague, Sean Stevens, or myself using the provided contact information that is included in that memo. Sean will also provide some additional guidance as it pertains to the Alabama High School Athletic Association ruling. But at this time, it is over to you, Sean, to take us more into some specific changes around the Alabama High School Diploma itself.
Thanks, Dawn. So let's actually look at each of our options. Currently, we have three pathways. You have the Alabama High School Diploma General Ed pathway, which consists of options A and B, and of course our other two pathways for students with disabilities that include our Essentials pathway as well as the Alternate Achievement Standards pathway. But let's look at the difference between option A and option B for our students. Option A, of course, is our traditional, the same diploma option that we've had since the graduating class of 2017. Those requirements, of course, have not changed, but I do want to bring your attention to the difference between option A and option B. What you'll see in option B is that students will only be required to earn 2 credits in science and 2 credits of math, as opposed to the 4 credits required in science and math that option A requires. The other main difference in option B, because of its career focused and business and industry centered approach, you'll notice that it will be required that students earn a minimum of 3 credits in a Career Tech approved program of study, as well as the rest of their electives can be taken, can be earned from any credit bearing course that remains. So when you look at the difference between the two options, of course, in option A, students have always had the flexibility to earn credits within Career Tech, World Languages, or Arts Education courses as a requirement. But with option B, students would actually be required to earn a minimum of 3 credits within Career Tech, and again, within an approved program of study in order to meet the requirements of our option B. As we say and have said since that graduating class of 2017, there is still only one Alabama high school diploma. However, students now have multiple pathways in which to earn this diploma, and can really be tailored and individualized to the career objectives of our students and what they plan to do in their lives after high school. Again, to kind of bring focus on the reduction of the math and science credit requirements, students will be awarded the same high school diploma regardless of which option they follow. However, those that are enrolled in option B will only be required to earn credits in 2 maths and 2 sciences instead of the 4 that are required of option A. In lieu of those 2 maths and 2 science credits, as was said before, students enrolled in option B must earn a minimum of 3 credits in Career Tech from those courses that are approved in those programs of study. We've also provided links to the current updated programs of study so that you and all of your school leaders have the information that's necessary. In addition, I've also included a screenshot that of what option B looks like for both the graduating class of 2026 and 27. They're on one, as well as the class of 2028 and beyond on the other. As a reminder, the students who are in the graduating class of 2026 and 27 are our first graduating class that are required to earn at least one of the College of Career Readiness indicators. The students who are part of the class of 2028 and beyond not only have to earn a College of Career Readiness indicator, they must also participate in the financial literacy requirement. You will notice that when we're talking about the College of Career Readiness indicators, that option B requires students to earn career tech completer status. Therefore, a student who meets the requirements of option B will automatically be college and career ready, built in just from the coursework that itself. So these updated checklists are available on the Alabama State Department of Education's website, and all of the information that we will have will be posted under the graduation requirements part, so that you can always go to that one page and get the most updated information for your students, their families, and as well as your school leaders. When we're talking about the math and science requirements, again, option A has always required 4, but when it comes to option B, the 2 required math credits must be from geometry and algebra 1, and the two required science credits must be from biology or a physical science. A physical science may be physical science, chemistry, or physics. But I also want to make sure I point out one of the questions that we've already received is, what if our students have participated in accelerated 7th grade and accelerated 8th grade math in middle school? Because the law requires and the code requires students to earn 2 credits in math and science, those students would begin in geometry, and then they would actually be required to earn that credit of algebra 2 in order to meet that minimum number of credits earned in math. So students who did not have accelerated 7th and 8th, they would earn credit in geometry and algebra 1. Those students who did participate in accelerated 7th and 8th grade math in middle school, they would be required to earn a credit for geometry and algebra 2. Dom?
All right, thank you so much, Sean. So let's try to put some scenarios to option B as we progress along in today's presentation. So we're going to carefully consider John, who is our first student, as an example for today's conversation. He is a student that has scored a 17 on the ACT. He has opted for diploma option B. John is also enrolled in a welding program at his local career tech center. He has successfully completed several foundational courses, including geometry, algebra 1, biology, and physical science. In addition, John has completed the following career and technical education courses as part of his welding program. He's completed architecture and construction foundations, safety and health regulations, welding, and 3 additional welding courses, along with career pathway project. If we could go to the next slide so that we can take a look at John's 4-year plan, that would be extremely helpful. John's plan, if you take a look at it very carefully, has 7 more opportunities for him to take additional CTE classes on top of the 6 he is projected to complete during his high school experience. Additionally, John still has plenty of opportunity to take 7 more electives that could include additional math or science courses, world language, or arts education. It's very, very important to remember not to put John in a box, as he has a variety of options to explore and tailor his education to his interests and his future career goals. Not what we want as adults for him. Let us take a look at the second scenario. In the second scenario, let's kind of explore some possibilities for Janie here. So as we're considering Janie, she is a student that has scored a 32 on her ACT and has chosen diploma option B. Yes, you heard that correctly. Janie has chosen option B, even though she has scored a 32 on her ACT. Janie is also enrolled in a CTE health science program at her local career tech center. She has successfully completed foundational courses, including geometry, algebra 1, biology, and physical science. Additionally, Janie has completed the following CTE courses, and you see those highlighted. If we go to the next slide, please. In yellow, those are the courses that she has completed there as she progresses along in her desire to pursue a career in the health science profession. She has taken several, to be exact. She's taken the required foundation course of health science. She's also taken medical terminology, human body structures and functions that can also count as a science credit course, therapeutic services, health science internship, which is a 2-credit option. But again, Janie's chosen path aims to prepare her for a career in the health science profession. So once again, as we carefully consider Janie's route as she pursues her dream to potentially maybe one day become a licensed physical therapist, a licensed occupational therapist, a registered nurse, or even a doctor, it is crucial to be mindful of the entrance requirements for our 4-year institutions, which often include upper level math and science courses for admissions. Just so that I kind of say partial in this example, I quickly took a look at the University of Alabama at Birmingham admission requirements. Well, they have specific math and science admission requirements for their incoming freshmen. A couple of things that I do want to highlight here is that UAB requires 3 units of math. As we take a look at Janie's junior year, well, obviously there is room in her 4-year plan for her to take an additional math elective, not only in her junior year, but also in her senior year. You see that option available to her highlighted in teal there. The admissions requirements do include that she take Algebra 1, Algebra 2, or 1 unit of either geometry, which she has already taken in her freshman year, trig, or cal. Additional requirements for UAB admissions process includes that she takes 3 units of natural sciences, including biology, which Janie took in her freshman year, as well as chemistry and physics. 2 of these courses must have a laboratory component. Well, in her sophomore year, Janie did take the required physical science, but she also still has room in her 4-year plan to take the additional science elective, not only in just her junior year, but also in her senior year as well. Now, as we look even more broadly at UAB's admission requirements, it is noted that 1 unit of a foreign language is also required for admissions into University of Alabama at Birmingham. So it would be very, very important for Janie to use one of those other 3 elective options to take a world language while she is still in high school, so that we don't miss the opportunity to set her up for success in her pursuit to be admitted to the University of Alabama at Birmingham. Once again, let's ensure that we don't miss the opportunity by providing for Janie the proper guidance. With the right advice, Janie can navigate her educational journey effectively, allowing her to reach her goals without any missteps on the part of any adults that will be a part of her educational journey.
And Dawn, if I could just add to this before we move on, I love the 2 examples that we have, and I hope that our viewers will notice that while both of these students are planning to pursue different sectors of industry, and while both of them have varied backgrounds, they're both able to really maximize the opportunities they're being provided in order to do a much more thorough and deeper pursuit of whatever it is that they're interested in. And it just really goes to confirm what Dr. Mackey has said from day one, that option B is not less than. Option B is not for students who struggle. It is as much for those who are excelling and really want the flexibility of their 4-year plan, but then the 4 years that they're in high school to really tailor that plan accordingly to what it is that they're really interested in pursuing. And I think that these are 2 great examples of that.
Thank you so much, Sean.
Oh, I was just going to add to make sure that you noticed that we lifted up the program guides for each of these scenarios, so you could see how we aligned their 4-year plan with that trajectory. And just to reinforce what Dawn and Sean said. We really look for those students who want to become doctors or engineers, or, you know, they really see this in their path. This gives them opportunities that perhaps they've not had before. If you want to become a doctor, perhaps you want to take an engineering course on top of this health science. These health science courses, perhaps you want to take AutoCAD. There's a lot of opportunities that we would, the essential piece that I think, as we've been meeting over and over again, is to continually have that ongoing conversation with the students and their parents, and what is the outcome? Are they want to go to 2-year, or they want to go 4-year college? And I can't thank Dawn enough for using a specific university to say it's critical that we look at what are those eligibility requirements before really mapping out the whole 4-year plan.
Thank you so much. Let us continue on. What is completer status is the question that's being posed here. We're going to suggest that, again, if you have questions about being a CTE completer, please, please, please make sure that you ask your LEA CTE director. Our programs of study does equal a declared program. Let me say that one more time. An approved program of study equates to a declared program. Well, where do I find the approved program of study? They can be found in what Dr. Shields just mentioned in the Career and Technical Education Program Guides. Those are available on the Alabama Achieves website. To meet the College and Career Readiness Indicator as a CTE completer, a student must earn 3 credits with a grade of C or higher in CTE courses that are part of an approved CTE program of study. Additional information is outlined in Memorandum FY 22-2065.
And Dawn, if you don't mind, before you go, could you highlight just the fact that the program guides have been revised to be even more intentional and provide even additional details so that schools and school leaders are able to determine those various pathways regarding, you know, foundation courses, concentrator courses, and completer courses.
Yes. So yes, absolutely, Sean. Thank you. So if you were to actually take a look at the Career and Technical Education Program Guides that, again, are posted on the Alabama Achieves website, you will notice that on the back page of every single guide, you will see a matrix for that particular career cluster. That matrix, as Sean has alluded to, does contain a very, very detailed listing, quite prescriptive in nature, in terms of what has been identified as foundation courses, concentrator courses, and capstone courses. As we take a look at the Workforce Pathway Seal, which is also one of the tenets that was embedded in the legislation, the Workforce Pathway Seal shall be issued by the school when a minimum of 4 credits, again, I underscore 4 credits, has been earned by a student in an approved career and technical education program of study. The specific programs of study are defined in the CTE program guides, which have been posted for the 25-26 academic year. It's important to note that this seal is not required for students pursuing option B, because you may recall that when Sean was covering the graduation requirements for option B, students only had to earn 3 CTE credits. But in order for them to earn a Workforce Pathway Seal, the student must earn that additional credit in career and technical education, bringing that number up to 4 credits minimum. Additionally, what constitutes an approved program of study includes proper program declaration at both the school level and for the student. Furthermore, it is extremely important for the LEAs to carefully review the specific courses of study to ensure that there are no required foundation courses or required prerequisites. Proper course sequencing must be adhered to when considering students for the Workforce Pathway Seal. For more details, we do ask that you refer to the hyperlinks provided on the slide, in addition to making sure that you reference the appropriate CTE course of study to once again ensure that there is not a required foundation course in place or a prerequisite. Over to you, Sean.
Thanks, Dawn. As it was previously mentioned, we've worked really closely with the Alabama High School Athletic Association to help provide as much support as possible to ensure that our students who are pursuing option B would be eligible to participate in high school athletics. Again, while we're still waiting on the specific language regarding those eligibility requirements to come from the Athletic Association, please note that they have assured us that those students who are pursuing option B will be eligible to participate in athletics, just as any students who are pursuing any of our diploma pathways and options would be. Also wanted to just mention our credit eligible courses. Not only does this actually describe and really provide quite a bit of detail about the credit eligible courses as a whole, but also to give school leaders, district leaders, an opportunity to really explore which of those career tech courses that are currently approved as credit eligible courses, which ones fit in your entire School of Master schedule and the programs that you already offer, and how can you utilize those credit eligible courses that may be approved for math or science or one of the other subject areas to really help maximize a student's pathway and also your staff's, your current staff. As just a reminder, when it comes to credit eligible courses, these of course are taught by certified teachers who possess both endorsement in the subject, the specific subject or career tech education area, but they also possess the knowledge and skills in that appropriate subject area. And one of the things that seems to come up a lot is, we have approved a number of different endorsement areas to be eligible to teach those courses. However, it's important that school leaders take the lead in ensuring that those teachers are also, that they have the knowledge and skills that are appropriate for those. They may need additional training, they may need to have professional learning opportunities, or in order for them to offer those. But there are quite a few that are on the list. We will have provided the link to the currently approved credit eligible list, and that list will continuously be updated and expanded. And I think that most of those that have worked in this area will be pleased to see that we're doing more, expanding more, and we're also providing more opportunities for students to earn one of their core credits through courses that are available in Career Tech. Next is one of the most important pieces of implementing the workforce pathway option B and really implementing any of our diploma pathways, and that's working with students to develop their personal education plans of study. And what is an education plan? It's when a student considers their career goals in relation to the actual coursework they plan to pursue in high school. Is it a student's course plan it is a student's course plan for the future, but it is not, unchanging or the student's schedule in stone. It's an opportunity for students to really first take a variety of assessments that help inform kind of the possibilities that they could pursue as far as career options, but then also what are the requirements in order for a student to pursue that career? What are the requirements both in secondary and then post-secondary? What additional training might that student need to pursue? What could be requirements for students to obtain that training through post-secondary education or a connection directly into the world of work? And also, how can they explore different opportunities while still gaining the skills they need that are universal? And so when students are working with their counselor, their career coach, their career tech teachers, and any of our school leaders, their academic advisors, they're able to truly create an education plan that's meaningful and that can help ensure that they're successful. We want our students to be pursuing the appropriate coursework that helps meet their goals and career objectives, but that's only going to be, they'll only be successful in that if you're working in conjunction with their parents and families, but then also the entire school staff to ensure that students are actually enrolling in the appropriate coursework, and that our master schedules are based on what the students' requests are and not the adults' request. And so it's such an important piece of this. It's such a critical piece that students are working on those ed plans, and that they're constantly evolving, that they're revisiting them every year, and that every year they're also having those approved prior to them moving into the next school year. When should those education plans be created? We should be planning with students well all the way back into elementary, and we do such a great job of that. But when are the education plans that are part of the actual accountability piece due? Those are created in 8th grade, and so no student should enter grade 9 without at least having one school approved for your education plan of study. They're going to review it. They're going to come back and make changes to it as they progress through high school. But it's important that our students know that they have some plan in place that that they've reviewed, their parents have reviewed, but most importantly, that the school has worked directly with them to ensure that they're choosing the appropriate coursework. Affected with the students that are in grade 8 in the 25-26 school year who are members of that graduating class of 2030. Those education plans of study must be input into the Alabama career planning system. We're excited about the rollout of the new version of the career planning system and all of the important components that it possesses. It is a robust system that really provides so much information, resources, details about everything from post-secondary opportunities from education, but then also specific career, industry, job, occupational information that students have right there at their fingertips. They're able to explore Alabama-specific careers, jobs, and opportunities. They're able to explore all of those college and university requirements for specific majors, and it's all powered by a system that remains updated, and that you can ensure that students are getting the most appropriate information, and certainly the most updated information. One of the great parts about having the career planning system in place, it allows for us to for those ed plans to be in a consistent format. We're able to report those based on your school and LEA. We're also able to report those as a state to the legislature. It gives our students and their families a way to explore in a digital environment. It also gives one of the updates too is it gives our school leaders the ability to work with students individually and even edit those four-year plans as the students are making decisions. The other thing that's important about the career planning system is all the training that's available. And so as you start to plan for next year and even years after that, I encourage you to reach out to the support team at support@cougar.com, where you can actually explore what upcoming opportunities exist for professional learning and how you too can actually bring those professional learning opportunities to your district. Another important component of this is the PowerSchool documentation. Of course, Stacey Royster and our PowerSchool coaches are such an important piece of all of our work. But I wanted to show you just a couple of screenshots of what's being worked on to kind of be a reporting component. The graduation pathways being added into the Alabama specific custom page for students. So you'll notice that in the same screen that where you are able to record, the college career readiness indicators students earn, as well as some of this other information. That's where the graduation pathways information will be added to that same screen, so that you can actually designate which pathways students are pursuing, because we are all aware that because it is a recent change in the legislature and a law passed just last year, the legislature is going to want to know how many of our students are pursuing option B and what kind of reporting mechanisms we put in place to ensure that we're able to accurately report to them. Another screen for you to see is on the next slide. You'll also notice that this is another way for you to actually indicate, as students are progressing through their 4 years of high school, how is it that we can help keep up with which option our students are on. This is another piece of that, and there's certainly be more information coming, but we wanted to show you a couple of screenshots of what this will look like in the student information system regarding these pathways.
I think this is me. So listen, we have been taking your questions really since the onset of this legislation, really just asking each of you to say, okay, help us think through this. What What are questions that you have? And I think every couple days we get a new one. We're like, okay, we got to come back to the table and think through that. So please take a moment to visit our guidance and our frequently asked questions in relation to option B. If you have additional questions, it means so much to us that you complete. There's the QR code that you've seen on the bottom of every one of these slides. If you will send your question through that form, that helps us keep all the questions together. And many times they might be a question for Laura, or they might be a question for Don, or for Mr. Hawthorne. And it helps us know how to make sure that question is answered as quickly as possible. And I just have to provide many thanks to our friends in Career Tech. And I hope they feel the same way, because this has definitely been a joint venture of our two offices to figure out how we can create a space that certainly addresses a lot of the things that are both required and are lifted up as best practices, and bring those two things together among the work that we share. Please visit that. We were just adding questions right before this this webinar. We wanted to make sure that we provided some key contacts as you are thinking through this. It's always important to us that you know who to contact, and so we wanted to provide the critical names of those that are working on this piece through the Office of Career and Technical Education, and of course through the Office of Student Learning. Sean has a brilliant team that support him with a number of things that are indirectly and directly related to diploma options and the critical pieces of matriculating our students to college and career. We do want you to know, one of the reasons we chose to do a webinar is because, well, two things. A pre-recorded webinar is we wanted to make sure we got this information out to you immediately, and to give you time to take this back to your team, think through it, and then looking at your questions, we can come back and provide more technical assistance that might be a little bit more linear to some specific scenarios that you have. So do be looking for follow-up webinars, follow-up guidance in response to today's recorded webinar. Mr. Hawthorne, anything else that you can think of before we sign off for the afternoon?
I just want to thank everyone here, Don and Sean, for taking the lead on this, Dr. Shields, for you as well. And it certainly has been great collaboration between our groups of people, and certainly hope this is informative for everyone. I know it's probably not going to answer all the questions, but we're excited to be able to get this information out to you. So certainly if you have questions, please submit those, and I hope everyone has a great day.
Thanks so much. We will see you all soon.